So this guy right here, and he's really cool when it's
Can you move a little
just
bit?
learn about the
Thank you.
ecology behind these things, but he actually shows inbreeding depression. He has one of the worst cases of.
Is this California native?
Oh no! They're
Okay.
native in Florida and Georgia.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh my god.
Let's do the.
Kidding.
It's 50-50. He's been out all
Is
day.
he hungry?
Oh my god, I stopped recording. Just wait a second.
Boom. Really awesome feeding responses. As you can see how aggressive he is. So I feed not only rodents, frogs, fish, yeah, a little bit of everything. Baby chickens, he eats those. So.
I have pet stores. They have some Petco, whatever. They sell frozen rats.
Yeah. I like to get them online. They're a whole lot cheaper.
Wow.
A whole lot cheaper.
Yeah, there's such low friction on the table.
Yeah. Good news is, I mean, I have another one, another male, and it took me 4 years to find a good female for this guy right here. I mean, for the other one. So I'm going to breed him in a few.
Not only
That's
rodents, frogs.
But you're trying to breed.
my voice, huh? No, I'm gonna read these things, yeah. So I'm waiting for the permits to clear from the government because whenever they cross state lines, you need a federal permit. If there's someone in California that wants to buy one from a breeder in California, no permits required. You do need that interstate. And people in Florida and Georgia can't have these things because they're native there. And what's really, well, man, he's kind of like going after that. He has split belly scales, so right underneath his scales are split. And that kind of shows that inbreeding depression because, well, they've been protected for so long. And some breeders have been breeding them for way too long, like the same lineage, and it causes these massive deformities in large parts. One eye larger than the other, premature deaths, stunted growth, because these do get about 7 feet in the wild, especially the males. And actually, some of the biologists right now, it's really big in Florida and Georgia because they're trying to reintroduce these back into certain areas. And they're starting to see that some of the wild populations are starting to show these deformities, and it's most likely due to pretty much fragmented habitats.
It needs leverage. It has too hard of a time getting leverage
Is
on
he
it.
ever gonna
Yeah.
swallow it?
Get
or
this
no?
box, we.
So as soon as he gets that head inside, it'll take maybe 2 minutes to finish that, and then he'll go again. So very strong feeding response. In the wild, it's really cool. A researcher actually found one of these along the beach in
It's
Florida.
gonna fall off.
It's okay. It found one of these eating a dead shark. It was a dead shark washed up on shore, and it was just scraping the meat off of it.
When you say feeding response, do you mean going to town on food? Okay.
They're very visual, very aggressive. Their genus name is Drimacon, which means king of the forest. They eat rattlesnakes, they eat pretty much anything. So, yeah.
Well, and then, sorry, never mind.
Oh, no, go for it, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you know, it's interesting if you talk about, like I don't know if, I'm sure these things do too, but like, you know, how they can unhinge like their lower jaw and then the bottom jaw, the lower jaw is not actually connected by bone. There's a ligament there, so it can spread wider, so they can extend their mouth a lot more.
They actually don't unhinge it. It actually moves forward. So, but the bottom jaw does spread out, kind of like the predator. So, it's really cool. I usually have my students, not with the snakes though. I don't have them feed it, but like the bearded dragons. They're like the most tamest creatures in the world, and I usually have them do like the slow motion taps, and they just love it. And it's amazing what we find. So I'm not sure like if you caught anything good on that one because it was kind
Yeah,
of.
I didn't really catch too much here. I wasn't on slow motion because I didn't know what the time frame would be.
So, just because I'm.
Oh, honestly, guys, I'm not ever gonna breed this guy. He's really for education. I brought him to different schools before, so if you guys are ever going over some kind of like ecological unit, like some kind of endangered species, if you guys want to like borrow him or have me come over, you know, I'm more than willing to do that because it's a really remarkable creature and something you don't really see every day.
What's the name again?
Eastern indigo.
Well, I guess I should take a look at it one more time, given that description.
He's like not hungry. He's not even
What exactly is
swallowing it.
No. They don't constrict like a
No, I
constrictor.
know,
They'll
but
grab
he's
it
never
and
gonna get
just-
that in his face if he doesn't
Oh, no, he'll maneuver.
They figure it out.
Gotta turn that corner.
Like he's
As soon as he
got
gets
a,
that corner.
I've had my thing like where he's caught it from the side instead of from the head or the back, and he's actually had to like let it go and like find a better
reorganize
spot.
himself.
So they
Reorganize.
work it out one way or
It's
another.
like cold service. He's tired. Who knows?
Mark,
Yeah.
so what exactly is the discrepant event in this case?
In a minute, no, actually in about 3 minutes, the rat's gonna be gone.
3 minutes.
If he doesn't fall off the
If he doesn't fall off. No, this has nothing to do with like the events. It was just something I was gonna goof with you guys with, and just something extremely cool.
It's a cool demo, though. You don't get a lot of animals.
Because I'll be honest with you, like, I love having animals in the classroom. And because it adds a lot of wonder, but also you get to see a lot of behaviors. Why do they act a certain way? Why do they do this? I mean, just like their color patterns. You can connect it to genetics, behavioral patterns, just so much. And it's really meaningful to the kids.
I think
Like,
it's really cool how you talked about the belly scales.
yeah, and if it wasn't feeding, I would show it to you. And honestly, that's how I got the second snake, because I posted it online. No one ever wants to admit if they have a deformed animal. So this one doctor from Minnesota, he teaches herpetology by the name of Matt Rand. He felt so bad for me because I spent about $900 on this guy. They're really, really expensive. And he offered me one. He did a genetic analysis where certain breeders in the United States sent their skin samples, kind of like what they do with horses, so they could know which horse to kind of breed with one another. They do this with the indigos, and yeah, so he used that data to find the perfect snakes you could possibly get to breed these things. And so the other one I have, I'm going to use that one for breeding purposes, and the one that took me 4 years to get, that I'm barely getting in December, they're going to be mated together as well. Now that it's kind of going towards the head, it won't take too long, but I wanted to show you a real discrepancy.
Yeah, I know.
Ready?
Huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we can do that while it's right
Actually, now
there.
he's gonna take it. Now
Don't worry, he's not gonna go after you.
So I have, it's interesting to see this guy
Now he's gonna-
compared to my constrictor,
Now
right?
you can
Because
see
it's
his-
not the same behavior, right?
No, it's not.
It's really interesting. I never actually.
Now you
did
got
snake
it, now you
up
got
my
it.
own eat.
Now you got it.
So mine, I have video of like.
He has his head already.
Straight.
I think, no, this is the one, this is the one. Right here, right here.
Right here. They
Wow,
have
look
to,
at that.
every time that the animal tries to breathe or breathes out.
Now he almost, he had him.
Well, you don't get too nervous, but you're around kids all the time, so probably not.
People around him.
What's crazy is the rat isn't even fighting back. It's just like
Right there.
I don't think he wants to already
though.
Is that a discrepancy, right?
He must be depressed.
Yeah. Maybe he's on a suicide mission.
Oh, you see how fast it's doing it right now? You see how it's moving from side to side?
Wow, look at
Yeah,
that.
the bows are so slow.
Why is he eating?
And I'll be honest with you, he normally eats a little bit faster. He's moving it a little slow. I'm not sure if you guys can see this. Where's that the head?
Classmate,
And the way that he's moving
student
side by
harm,
side, we'll bring that thing
class
down.
fellow कह सकते हैं.
I
What is
think
your dad's
having Casey's hand there is helping
एक
a
snake
lot.
को लेके
Oh, no,
आया.
you'll be okay. The moment he's done with the rat now, like I'll
पिछले 8
I'll call you
महीने से
over.
जो है इसके लिए है. Finally,
Well, I was
Mark,
in my
how
classroom
long is
too.
it likely to take him to digest that?
depending on the temperature, about a week.
It's just a
So,
ball.
I try to stay away from feeding it fish too often because when they do defecate, you could really smell it.
Oh.
So,
Yeah. So you feed him like once a week, maybe.
once a week, once every 2 weeks. I try not to power feed. Some people will feed them a couple times a week to get bigger faster, but I really don't encourage that.
Especially once they get bigger, you only need
और जो है उसके
once a
लिए
month if it's a big.
Oh yeah, like my boy, I feed it a bunny, like a 5-pound bunny, maybe once every 4 months.
अभी तक
Wait, this guy can eat a 5-pound rabbit?
I've seen them large rabbits.
He can eat a 5-pound rabbit?
No, the boy I have at school.
Oh. Yeah, I remember my high school bio teacher had a albino python. This huge thing. He had a cage just took up the whole
taking
back
like,
of the room.
it's almost 10 minutes
It was
now.
like 10 minutes. Took up an L.
9 minutes and 41 seconds.
Make sure you're using
That's
480.
Yeah, I'm gonna just.
He does have saliva on him. He does.
Yeah, when he spits it out, it's all juicy and, yeah.
Does it have something kind of like Emily's, like something to?
It's the first
or is
time
it
you're
just like
touching
a
a snake?
lubricant?
I think so, yeah.
I don't want to do that.
So I'm noticing that it's kind of wet, and I'm
I'm
very
not going to
surprised
do
by
it.
that. I wouldn't think a snake would have any spit.
I'm not going to
You
do
mess
it.
because it's
That's my discrepancy. It's very juicy.
Right.
I did it already.
This is so gross.
It's gonna take an hour.
Those are 5 minutes.
No, like once he's at that shoulders, I mean the trickiest part is getting to the head.
God.
His past the shoulder.
Yeah.
It's like a baby. It's like,
So
well,
nasty.
yeah.
Painfully and sometimes over an entire.
So
he's
I can
banana
show you.
sticks.
Crushing bullets.
Once he's
Oh
past
my
the shoulders,
God.
it's gonna be really quick, and then I can show you guys some pressure differentials.
तकरीबन जो
I don't
है
think anyone's listening to 3 minutes.
Pressure differential.
Pressure differentials.
10 minutes 43 seconds.
We're watching the thing.
I'll
10
come over in a
minutes
second. Yeah,
47
stuck.
48 seconds हो गए इसको.
Wow.
Someone help push the rat into his mouth.
Hold on, never put your hand next to its mouth.
So, hey,
I mean,
Mark,
like in front like that.
how is not having hands an evolutionary advantage for this guy? Like,
Well, why do you think?
I mean, other than being able to get incredibly tight spaces, is that do they just outcompete other predators because they can get places
इसकी
that
जगह
Well, they do believe that snakes actually evolved from like lizards. Some boas will actually have like those structures still in them, like the boas. But they were actually like underground. A lot of snakes tend to be subterranean, like California king snake. They're actually kind of common, but you don't really see them too often because they're mostly, you know, under the ground. I'm gonna see the males come out like during the hot weather.
How much does this weigh, man?
So,
Not too much, maybe a couple
really
pounds.
Yeah.
He's still on the smaller side.
How long is it?
Huh?
Length wise?
Oh, I don't know.
Mark, how long
Probably
it
at
is?
least 6 feet. It's pretty
How
long.
long it is?
I don't know.
so,
5 feet
so in other
maybe?
words,
No, definitely not 9 feet.
No,
The
5
biggest-
5 feet.
Oh, maybe.
We're gonna have one more demonstration since he's brought it here today, so we can continue watching this here, but Mark, why don't you go with your next one here?
Yeah. So, but once it gets past the shoulders, everything go right there. So anyways, I passed out some of these syringes right here. You know like when we're doing the collapsing can, right? Showed you a video of actual